We talk a lot about how to support new teachers, but what about the veterans? What happens when a great teacher has already mastered their craft? How do we keep our most talented, most experienced educators challenged and growing? It's a huge question for any school district that wants to keep its top talent.
So, yeah, how do the greats get even better? What's that next step look like? Well, there's a new proposal on the table that tries to answer that very question by completely rethinking how we approach evaluation for our most expert teachers.
All right, here's our game plan. First, we'll get into why the current system even needs a second look. Then, we'll break down this new, highly effective option. After that, we'll explore the 6 different paths teachers can take, talk about the benefits, and finally, look at what's next on the horizon.
So let's start with Section 1, Rethinking Teacher Growth. Why are we even talking about changing things up? Well, it really comes down to the limits of the current system, especially when it comes to our most seasoned educators.
I mean, think about it. Standard observations, they're crucial, no doubt. But for a highly effective teacher who's been doing this for years, that process can start to feel a little repetitive. Kind of like you're just checking a box instead of getting a real chance to push yourself. The idea here is to shift that focus away from just compliance and towards real, authentic professional learning that the teacher actually directs. And to tackle that exact problem, this proposal puts a new path on the table, one designed specifically for these expert educators. It's called the highly effective option.
So here's the gist of how it works. Instead of the 2 standard administrator-led observations every year, teachers who qualify can swap one of them out for a deep dive, a professional growth project that they themselves get to choose and direct. It's a really powerful shift towards teacher autonomy.
Now, just to be clear, this isn't for everybody. The bar is set pretty high. A teacher has to have a summative evaluation score of 3.5 or higher, which means they are consistently rated as highly effective. This makes sure the option is really for those educators who have already proven their mastery in the classroom. So what we're looking at here is a fundamental change in mindset. The focus shifts away from that top-down observation based on a rubric and moves toward a project that the teacher leads driven by their own professional curiosity. It really puts teachers in the driver's seat of their own growth.
Okay, so you might be wondering, if a teacher actually chooses this option, what does it look like in practice? Let's break down how it all works. The process is actually super clear and collaborative. It kicks off with a planning meeting where the teacher and their administrator get on the same page about a goal and an activity. Then comes step 2, implementation, where the teacher just goes and does the project. And finally, they meet back up for a reflection meeting to talk about what they learned and how it went. So you can see it's a structured journey, not just a free-for-all.
And teachers get real choices here. The state has actually approved 6 different activities they can pick from for their project. Each one offers a totally different way to get better at what they do. Let's explore a few of them, because they really show you the kind of cool stuff this allows. For one, a teacher could step up and become a leader among their peers. They could design and run a workshop for other staff members. And the focus here isn't on grading the workshop itself, but on the teacher's own growth as a facilitator and a leader. Another path is to do a really deep dive into data. And we're not talking about just filling out some report for compliance. This is about a structured, thoughtful analysis of student work to spot trends and figure out how to meet student needs even better. It's a great way to sharpen your instructional decision-making. Or, and this one is really cool, a teacher could conduct action research. This empowers them to pinpoint a specific challenge in their classroom, try out a new strategy to solve it, and then actually measure the impact. They basically get to be a researcher of their own practice, which is an incredibly powerful way to learn.
This next option is all about self-reflection. A teacher can record themselves teaching, but, and this is the most important part, that recording is for their eyes only. It's not submitted for evaluation. The whole point is to give them a tool to analyze their own instruction, find their strengths, and spot areas where they might want to grow. Okay, so we've seen how it all works, but why does this kind of flexibility matter so much? What are the real big-picture benefits of taking this new approach?
Well, the benefits are pretty huge, and they affect the whole system. This approach connects evaluation to authentic, real growth. It builds up teacher leadership and reflection. It helps teachers connect their personal goals with the district's big initiatives. And, here's a big one, it can actually reduce the administrative workload without sacrificing any of the rigor. When you boil it all down, the entire system is designed to shift the focus from judgment over to growth and reflection. And that is a powerful, powerful change for any school's culture.
Now, this all sounds really promising, but it's still in the proposal stage. So what are the next steps to see if this idea can actually become a reality?
The plan is to start small, with a controlled pilot program during the 2025-26 school year. Each school would select just 2 or 3 highly effective tenured teachers to give it a try. And it's a partnership. It's based on a principal's nomination and the teacher's own interest. These pioneers will then share what they learned to help the district figure out the future of the program. And that, of course, leads us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. This isn't just about trying something new. It's about learning from it. So figuring out the metrics, what success actually looks like for the teachers, for the administrators, and ultimately for the students, that's going to be the critical next step in this journey to redefine teacher growth.